As an executive coach of many years and having helped so many executives from different parts of the world and different countries, and having helped business owners and business leaders, I have found one common enemy. One common enemy to people being successful in business and in their finances. And it's not what you think. It's not what you think. You know, we can talk about strategy. Yes, strategy is important in business. We can talk about operational excellence. We can talk about all kinds of things. But everything rises and falls on leadership. And when I talk about leadership in this particular case, I'm talking about one specific thing about leadership. That's why so many people do not succeed. And this came home to me because I'm working with a particular client at this time. And that enemy that we're talking about is distraction. Distraction, yes. That's a terrible enemy. Distraction is the reason that we don't live up to our potential. Distraction is the reason that businesses don't make money. Distraction is the reason that many of us die broke. I have seen incredible entrepreneurs, very creative, highly innovative people struggle. Not because they have bad ideas, not because they have bad products. They have excellent products, but because they lose focus easily. They are distracted. So what I'm going to talk about tonight as a coach is how to keep yourself, how to preserve your energy and keep yourself from being distracted so that you can see more success. Because transforming your business is not necessarily about time. It's not about how long. Because over the years, I've seen that it's actually easier to 10x your business than to just double it. You know, I heard it first of all from Dan Sullivan. Before I got immersed in coaching and helping business owners across different countries in Africa. And I found that the guy was actually right. It's easier to 10x your business than to think about doubling it. So I'm working with an entrepreneur right now. And when I asked her what her ambition, what her financial goals were, she was just talking about a percentage, something like 20%, adding 20%. And I don't do 20%. I don't do 20%. So in other words, if your revenue is $300,000 and I'm working with you, you can't tell me you want to raise your revenue from $300,000 to 350 or even to 400. So I want to hear that you want to go from $300,000 in revenue to 1 million, to 1.5 million, to $3 million. That's and as a growth coach, I also find that it's actually easier for me, even as a facilitator and as a coach, to help businesses to 10x than to just double. And the reason is because people are working with a different principle. Because people think generally that growth is a function of time. That is the problem. So that is a mindset with which many people approach building wealth. They think it is a function of time. So whether you're actually a business owner or you are a regular individual wanting to grow your wealth, you want to grow your asset, growth is not a function of time. Please type it in the comment section. Type it in the comment section. Yeah, hello, Benita. Thanks for joining. Avinash, thanks for being here. Adeola Good to have you, Adeola Egbeyemi. Good to have you here in the live. Okay, so type in the comment section, growth is not a function of time. We think that growth is a derivative of time. I'm going to tell you what growth is a function of, and it is not time. And when you adopt that mindset, then what I'm going to share with you and the tools I'm going to give you this night will make very, very big difference, in your business and in your finances. Growth isn't a function of time. So ask me, if growth is not a function of time, then what is growth a function of? This has been some interesting discovery for me as an executive coach, as an individual, as a person who I would describe myself as a seeker and a stickler for personal development. Growth is not a function of time. Growth is a function of energy. Wow, I'm getting excited. Growth is not a function of time. Growth is a function of energy. Please type it in the comment section. Everybody participate with me. By now I'm sure you know that my sessions are not just, talking head sections. I want interaction. And as I'm speaking, if you need clarity on anything I have said, go ahead and type a question in the comment section, and then I can answer that. Yes. Hello, Driver Babu, helping hand. Hello as well. Irenella, good evening. Emmanuel Okibo, good evening as well. Esa Musa, yes, growth is a function of energy. If you don't pick anything tonight, if you haven't picked anything since the beginning of this year up to today, I need you to pick up this one thing. Growth isn't a function of time. You see, so there are two kinds of entrepreneurs and two kinds of people when it comes to wealth building. There are those who have the mindset of growth is a function of time, and then there are those very rare individuals who understand that growth is a function of energy. And I'm going to give you the implications of both, and I'm going to give you a tool for growth. Because if growth is a function of time, if you have that mindset, then it means that if you have to grow to $1 million in your business, and by the way, the data shows that 96 to 97% of businesses around the world never make $1 million in revenue. And so if you see growth as a function of time, then it means that you are going to have to wait for a number of years for you to make the $1 million. So assuming that your net revenue in the year is $100,000, then if you don't save, you don't pay taxes, you don't have any expenses, then it means that for you to get to $1 million, it will take you 10 years. So if you're thinking in terms of growth being a function of time, then it's going to take you 10 years. But if you think, and I'm going to break that down for you, if you understand that growth is a function of energy, not of time, then you can do $1 million in 2 years. You can do the $1 million in 1 year. You can actually do it in 6 months. So even in my own business, I've experienced times like that. I've experienced times of irrational growth, and it did not come as a result of time. It wasn't a function of time. Every time I experienced irrational growth in my business, it was never a function of time. It was a function of energy. Now, sometimes why it appears that it takes time to grow wealth, to grow assets, to grow your revenue in a business, why it appears that it takes that much time, it's not necessarily because it should take that much time, but it is because it took you that much time to come to the realization that growth is a function of energy. What does it mean that growth is a function of energy? Revenue is energy. Money is energy. Business is energy. Because the sheer energy of Amazon the sheer energy concentrated in Amazon as a business compared with that mom and pop store by your street is incomparable. The energy is enormous. The energy of what other businesses, you can type some. The energy of Coca-Cola, the energy of Shell that I worked with, the energy of Chevron that I worked with is incredible. Business is energy. Profitability is energy. Revenue is energy. So money also is energy. Let me use a very simple metaphor and bring this down to you, to like a 10-year-old level. So, and before I use that metaphor, just imagine the energy of $10, and pardon me, I'm using dollars because this is an international audience. I have a couple of you joining from the US, some from Canada, some from the Caribbean, many of you from Nigeria and different African countries. So I just use dollar because somehow that's the universal currency. So the energy of $10, ladies and gentlemen, is different from the energy of $1,000. Look, when you carry $10,000 in your pocket, I've had that amount of money in just a little less than that, like 9,000, because there was a time they said you couldn't travel. If your money was up to $10,000, more than $10,000, you have to declare it. Men, when I carry $5,000 cash in my pocket, when I handle $7,000, the energy is massive. Ladies and gentlemen, money is energy. That's why you earn a lot more money from energy attraction than from just sheer hustling and hard work. Because in hustling, you are scattering your energy. So money is energy. Now, the other illustration I want to use to bring it home to you. When you were in secondary school, hopefully you did that because I started secondary school in the late 1970s. And I'm even thinking that we did that experiment when I was in primary school in the 1970s. But we also did it in secondary school. So if you come out, walk out of the day, walk out of your house during the day, yeah, the sun is shining and everybody is happy. The sun is shining everywhere and all that. Nothing is burning. And you're carrying a newspaper in your hand, it doesn't burn. But the moment you take a convex mirror and you place that convex mirror facing the sun and you direct it on that newspaper, what happens? Tell me in the comment section. If you've done that exercise, this exercise I just talked about, tell me in the comment section. Have you done this exercise? Were you part of it? Where your physics teacher or your integrated science teacher brought a convex mirror? Now, sometimes I forget whether it's a convex or concave. Well, brought a convex mirror and then put it facing the sun, and then they put newspaper under it. If you've done that experiment, say yes. Just say fire. Say fire in the comment section. Just say fire. Let me know. All right. I would like you to interact with me, everyone. Let me know. Okay. Let me know. Have you done that experiment? Okay. Unique Mweke says, after watching your videos, I started investing in Nigerian stock and crypto market. I'm a real estate marketer. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yes. Helping Hand says, I'm an Indian mini truck driver. Thank you so much for your speaking. Very good. All right. All right. Yes. So Sydney says fire. Morayo says fire. Chuku Daniel. Joseph Okechi says fire. Joseph, you're joining us from Libya. Is that correct? Yeah, just type Libya in the comment section. Let's know. Yeah. So now it catches fire when you put that convex mirror and put a newspaper under it, or you put some wool, cotton wool or something. It catches fire. Now, so what happened? We are all walking out there in the sun. No one is catching fire. Our clothes aren't catching fire. The paper, the books, the newspaper we had in our hand wasn't catching fire. But the moment you put that mirror and put whatever under it, it burns it right away. It catches fire. Why? Because of concentration of energy. I have just given you a revelation on how money is made. Ladies and gentlemen, if you concentrate your energy, you make so much money. If you concentrate your energy, but you're scattering your energy, in different ways, and because of which you're struggling financially. Anywhere you see financial struggle, there is a scattering of energy. Somebody type that in the comment section. Okay, yes, so Joseph is joining us from Libya. So anywhere you see financial struggle in your life, in the life of your neighbor, your colleague, your friend, there is a scattering of energy. Money equals energy. And it therefore means that we are going to be wealthy, and then our businesses are going to be successful to the degree that we understand how to manage energy. I used to teach time management, and time management, don't misunderstand me, is very good, but there's something higher, and that is energy management. Everybody type energy management. Type energy management in the comment section. Type it. I want that to stick. Energy management, not time management. So you see, boys do time management, men do energy management. And then if you have stayed around wealthy people, you will see that these people do not play with their energy. And when you manage your energy very well, do you know what happens? That's the mystery. Your time automatically shapes up. When you manage your energy, your time shapes up. That's why some of my billionaire friends, I've told some of you who've watched some of my videos, I've told you a couple of stories about my billionaire friends. These people are incredible. They do not sit down to listen to gist or to listen to, they manage their energy very well. And because of that, their time is automatically managed. So if you have been having problem managing your time, being punctual, being on time, getting things done, if you've been having problems getting things done, you've been having problems with procrastination, with laziness and all of that, it's a real problem today. Those things are affecting your wealth. If you've been having these issues, then I need you to understand energy management, not time management. Okay, so we have established so far that money is energy, and then we've also established that therefore energy management is more important than time management. We've also established that for you to become wealthy and to make a lot of money, you need to manage, you need to look at the energy around you. You need to look at the way you are allocating your energy. You see, because another thing I want you to write down, is that wherever your attention goes, that's where your energy goes. Type it. Wherever your attention goes, that's where your energy goes. This thing is explaining poverty. This is like one of the most powerful explanations of poverty that I have come about. Rich people focus on things that make them money. Poor people focus on things that take money away from them. And somebody should be typing this as I'm saying it, because I don't want you to miss it. Rich people focus on things that make them money. Poor people focus on things that take money away from them. Poor people focus on things that take money away from them. And that's why I was passing a couple of years ago. I passed by a very, very poor neighborhood in Lagos. Very, very poor neighborhood. In fact, they didn't have proper houses. They were living in what you call bacha. I don't know the real English name for it, but some of them put wood together. Others put zinc. They just squared zinc and called it a house. Others were using tarpaulin and nylon. So they weren't proper houses in that area. But do you know, of course, that area, the government has pushed all of them out of that place and then built mansions that, it's actually in Lekki, built mansions that only very few can afford. So because unfortunately, it's not the right way to treat the poor. But unfortunately, poverty doesn't give you voice. Poverty makes you so dispensable. And truly, I don't blame anybody. I don't blame the poor for being poor, because the system sometimes contributes in creating systemic poverty. But but the truth is that nobody, no matter how bad things are, nobody needs to remain poor. Anyway, so I was passing through that area, and some people call it vibes. When you are passing through a rich neighborhood, please, if what I'm saying is true, okay, type true. If what I'm going to say now is true, just type true in the comment section. When you pass through a wealthy neighborhood, the energy is different from when you pass through a very, very poor neighborhood. Is this true? Has anybody noticed it? If you have, describe the energy in the comment section. The vibes are very different. The vibes are different. But I don't want to forget the point I was making, that rich people focus on things that make them wealth, that create wealth for them. Poor people focus on things that take money away from them. That was the storyline. So now, when I got to this neighborhood, what shocked me was, in every one of those houses, every one of them, in fact, the most prominent thing in that neighborhood were television poles. There used to be those television poles in those days. I don't have TV. I haven't bought TV. So I don't know whether they use a different technology. But in those days, they used to have these poles and then a receiver mounted. All of those poor houses, they have TV. And then I actually went to visit somebody. And then there were stacks of all the Nollywood CDs. In those days, they had CDs or DVDs. Stacks, different stacks, this long. This guy was poor. His family was poor. They were all sleeping in that, dingy room. But this guy had all the Nollywood titles, piles of them. If you have seen something like that, also let me type it in the comment section that you have seen. So what happens in the daytime, in the evening, during the weekend? And then, in those days, they had these Nollywood title movies. I don't know whether they still do this, because I don't watch myself. But in places I've been, like I visit these poor people, and then they are watching this thing. They watch the first one, which is 120 minutes, like 2 hours, and it's part 1. And then they say, to God be the glory, end of part 1, part 2 continues. Then they slot the second DVD in, another 2 hours. After that, to God be the glory, part 2 ends. Continue with part 3. And people having one day sat down for 6 hours, 8 hours watching Nollywood movie. At the end of it, let me ask you, poor guy, what has that added to your pocket? Okay, but wealthy individuals, they are busy studying the financial markets. They are busy scouting for news and information as to what's going on in China, in Japan, in America, in London markets and things. They are busy networking, looking for conferences. Like I'm looking for conferences to attend right now. I'm going to be in Houston for a while, in a couple of months. I'm already looking for conferences I'm going to attend while I'm in Houston, digital marketing conferences. I've already started compiling my lists of events I'm going to attend in New York and all that. So that's what wealthy people focus on. Like I'm focusing on, when I get to the United States, the digital marketing conferences I will attend, and then Forex conferences that I'm going to attend. I'll have a list months before I travel. So wherever your attention goes, that's where your energy goes. So poor people, direct their attention on things that take money away from their pockets, because they have to subscribe. They have to buy those Nollywood movies. They have to subscribe to DSTV to watch all the European League, to watch Ronaldo, to watch Messi. They have to subscribe. Money is coming out of their pocket. Meanwhile, Messi is making billions every year, hundreds of millions every year. Cristiano Ronaldo making hundreds of millions every year. But they make nothing just watching. Okay, so now let's bring it down, and then I will give you the tool for tonight. How do you manage your energy so that you can make more money and so that you can set up your future? Okay, so let me look at a few comments here. I'll read that, and then I will. Oh, Morayo, you live in Houston. Wow, fantastic. So I was in Houston last May. There's a reason I come to Houston, so maybe when I come, I will of course I'll let all of you know. Okay, Michael said, first time in this live, your channel really helped me a lot this week. Thank you. You're very welcome. Okay, Adeola says, rich people focus on things that make money for them. Absolutely. Poor people focus on things that take money away from them. Fantastic. Absolutely. All right. Money is energy. Energy management is more important than time management. Wherever your attention goes, that's where your energy goes. Fantastic. So, right. That automatically means that if you want to make money, direct your energy on things that will add money to your pocket. Type what I have just said, okay? And use I, personalize it to you. Okay. So I use subtle psychological coaching techniques. So whenever I say you should type something, do it. There's actually something I'm doing. And you'll find that when you do it, it feels different. And you're very likely, much more likely to take action on what you're learning when you do what I tell you. When you even type it, it registers in your nervous system. It becomes somehow a part of you, that you have written it down in your journal and that you have typed it. So I need you to type that I am going to focus on things that bring money, that add money to my pocket. I am not going to focus on things that take money away from me. I am going to focus on things that bring money to me. And so what are those things that bring money to you? That's the cocoa. What are the things you should focus on? Before we talk about what to focus on, here is the coaching prompt, the coaching tool I want you to use tonight. So I'm going to give you a series of questions, maybe 2 or 3 questions I need you to work on. Okay, so I need you to work on it tonight. I need you to bring out your wealth journal. If you're following my channel, I invite you to please buy a wealth journal. You see, I have journals. I journal every day. I don't know if you can see this one very well. This one is my business growth journal. Okay, this one is my wealth journal. All right, so here, everything about my stock investing analysis, things I'm investing in, everything about how my net worth is moving and growing, I put it here. Everything about my real estate, so all those things go in my wealth journal. All right, my real estate, like right now, I have some properties I want to sell, some landed properties I want to sell, so it goes here. All right, very, very important. So do these exercises, get a wealth journal, all right, for my channel, because it's a coaching channel. It's not, if you've been following, you can see that it's very, very practical. I don't come to talk theory. I'm going to be 60 in a few months. So, and 60 years here on earth, I've seen things. You know, what I say now as a 60-year-old man is very different from what I would have told you when I was 30. And I was doing the thing I'm doing right now. Incidentally, when I was 30, I was teaching, I was speaking, I was doing things in my 30s. But it's very different, because when I look at the 30s, I was brilliant. It was wonderful. I helped a lot of people. I mentored people, lots of young people who are still standing today. I'm thankful that I mentored them. I went to different secondary schools, like girls' secondary school at Isiopo, to St. Scholastica Bacana, to different secondary school in Emohua, different places in Rivers State. I went to even Nembe. So I mentored young people. I taught them. I taught goal setting. I taught them spirituality. I taught them how to walk with God. I taught them purity. I taught, but as a 60-year-old man, it's very different because I have seen the world. I have not seen everything, but at 60, I have seen the world from so many angles that I didn't see when I was 30. I also understand human nature far more deeply than I did when I was a 35 or 40-year-old. So take every word I'm telling you and act on them, because I'm saying these things from a very, very practical point of view. And also because there's nothing I have not experienced myself. Along the spectrum of wealth, I have seen absolute lack. I have seen absolute lack. I was so broke as a graduate when I came out of school. I was so broke that there was a time I couldn't afford underwear. I was walking around the streets of Lagos looking for a job. I was so broke, I could not afford underwear for something like 4 to 5 months. I did not have underwear. Meanwhile, all the things I had on my body at that time, the shirt, the trouser, the shoes, they were all picked from second-hand boutique. They call them in Lagos, they call them bend down boutique, because they just put these things by the side of the road and you pick them. So the shirt I was wearing came from the side of the road. For some of you who know Lagos, I told you Elegba. But you see, my dignity did not allow me to buy an undie that another human being had used. So I refused to buy that. So it was either I bought a new one or I wouldn't wear undie. So for about 4 or 5 months, I couldn't afford undie. It was that bad. I've seen the whole spectrum. So to a point where in one weekend, I could make $20-something thousand in one weekend. I've seen the whole spectrum to where, as an executive in Shell, I stayed in best hotels in Europe, in the United States, took my family to for summer every time. I have seen that. So I have seen the entire spectrum of being poor and being wealthy. And I'm going to be sharing a lot more of my stories, to you, so that you know that no matter where you are in the spectrum, you can actually do very well, okay? All right. So here is the exercise I would like you to do. Everyone, here is the exercise I would like you to do. Okay, Michael said that's the way. We call it okrika here. But on this Enogo area. Yeah, Adeola says, thank you for being so candid about your story. Yes. Unique Nkweke says, God bless you, sir. I'm in my late 30s and I'm learning these life transforming lessons. Very good for you. Okay. So here's what I want you to write down in your journal. Okay. So the question is, what's currently draining your energy? And I would also like us to interact with this so that we can also learn from one another. So the first question is, what's currently draining your energy? And I would like some responses in the comment section, in the chat section. What's currently draining your energy? Okay, so it could be people, it could be things, it could be activities, it could be relationship. What is it that sort of puts this heavy load, emotional load on you? You just feel your shoulders are tight whenever that thing comes. Or it's an activity that whenever you finish, you're totally drained. And be very, very candid. It doesn't matter. Because when I did this exercise several years ago, surprise, surprise, it was my church. My church was killing me. And for some of you, that's what is killing you. Because you think that by being in church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because that's what I was doing. I thought I was pleasing God. I thought I was whatever. But I tell you, you're just making your pastor happy. It has nothing to do with your spiritual growth. So I found that the thing used to drain me. And then there was a time in those days, the pastor woke up one day and said, okay, we're going to be having vigil every day. It was a new parish at the time. And so they wanted massive growth. So they said, we're going to be having vigil every night. People were working. I had a job. People had jobs in the place. How can you? God didn't ask you. How can you be doing vigil every night? Then you go to work the next morning and then you are dozing. So it could be something like that. Church activities can be draining. And so what I did is I had to say, no, Pastor, I love God. And this is what I've been called to do. Because I work with teenagers. It's always been my calling. Working with teenagers, working with young people, right from the beginning of time, from the 70s, even when I was not a teenager myself, working with children and teenagers. So I just said, look, I want to concentrate on my area. All these other ones, you come digging deep, Tuesday, Wednesday, choir practice, Thursday, evangelism. That is not the way that you were designed to. And then because in Africa, we are terrible, we're just so religious. We think that that's what God wants us to do. But the thing drains us. Okay, so let's see. What are the things draining your energy? Let me see a few things that we have here in the chart. So, unemployment. Okay, yep, okay. Unemployment drains your energy. And I'm going to show you how you can turn it on its head. Unemployment can actually provide you the opportunity to exercise your energy. Michael says overthinking. Titi says activities. My farming activities drain your energy. Okay. Betting and relationship here. Yeah. Okay. So I know someone who also has been in a very toxic relationship. And there are some relationships that we shouldn't be in. Many of us are actually being held back by the kind of relationships, kind of people that we have around us, kind of people that we are dating or being dated by. Many times people drain you. There are people when they come, they are energy drainers. Somebody even called them energy vampires. And energy vampires are terrible. They come, by the time they've spent, they wouldn't go. They would tell one stupid story after another. Because how can somebody visit me? So I had to start protecting my energy, all right? So remember to ask me to tell you about protecting energy, because that's what I do for myself. So these people come. Initially, because these are very close individuals. These are, important people I really like. But then they visit. And then story after story. Okay, Natasha and Akpabio. Stupid. So what am I going to do with that? Then they finish talking about that. They talk about accident that happened on Makodi Abuja Road. After that, they talk about some kidnapping. They talk just all this kind of. So by the time they have left, all your energy is sapped. Tell me if you have that kind of experience. If you have somebody like that. There are people, when they come around you, they drain you. By the time that they are leaving, I'm looking for my battery. For your phone battery. Imagine if it's a phone battery. So these people, when they come to you, I'm looking at my power bank. When they come to you, the power bank is full. Okay, this one is not even full. It's only 2. Because some energy vampires have come. So there are only 2 bars here. But you see, there are people, your energy level is full battery, 5 bars. But by the time they leave you, and they could be relations, so they could be relations, brother, sister, in-law, friend, co-worker. By the time they finish, you are zeroed out. You need to write down the names of those people and start protecting your energy, defending yourself. In fact, when you do it long enough, the people will get used to the kind of person you are, and then the kind of information and things that they should be discussing around you, because that's what happens right now. It's amazing, because we were at a meeting just a couple of days ago, and then a couple of us men, and then we were taking a walk, And then somebody started talking about what was the subject? His Excellency, the governor, did this one, did this one, did this one. Okay, this other senator, this other whatever. So they were all talking, and then all of a sudden, one looked at me. Ogbo said something. Then another man there, who was actually the chairman, he said, Ogbo doesn't, he doesn't participate in that kind of conversation. All of them, I didn't say anything. They were just talking. Men, grown-up men, fathers, big men. I didn't say anything. I didn't know that they noticed. So because I don't get involved in conversations that would drain my energy. Okay, so type that in the comment sections. Don't get involved in conversations that drain your energy. Because many times how that energy starts draining is when they start that conversation, instead of shielding or taking yourself away from it, you'll join. By the time you finish, your energy is gone. And in the process, you even say things that you shouldn't say. You reveal things that you shouldn't reveal. You talk about plans that you have that you shouldn't actually speak publicly and openly. And then at the end of it, you've taken all the energy is sapped, by energy vampires. So don't get involved in conversations that drain your energy. Okay, so that's the first question. What currently drains your energy? There could be things, there could be people and activities. So you have to be very intentional to know what exactly is it that by the time you finish taking part in it or something, it just drains your energy. Okay. The other corollary is, when in your day or week do you feel most energized? So what are the things that give you energy? With the first question related to the things that drain you, what are the things that when you plug them, it's like I plug this phone and then it's charging. What is it that when you plug yourself into it, you start charging, your energy starts building up? Okay, what is it that when you that's a good way to put it. So let me use the metaphor of my battery pack. So what is it that when you plug yourself into it, your energy starts charging? It could also be people, it could also be activities, it could also be things. Like me, when I pick a book behind me here, when I pick a book and start reading, my goodness, my battery starts charging, starts going up. When I wake up in the morning and I have my morning routine, my morning routine charges me up. So I take some time and I do deep breathing, I breathe, I take in long breaths. Sometimes I do up to 15, I do up to 20, I do 12 or something. And then I breathe, I hold it and I breathe out. And then after that, I engage with the scriptures. I read the scriptures, make notes, meditate, and then after that, I put on my jogging shoes and I go out. And as I'm jogging, I'm listening to a podcast. I'm listening to a very uplifting message. So that's how I charge my battery. So by the time I finish exercising and then come out, for some of you who have seen some of the videos I do when I'm exercising, I'm charging up. So exercise charges me up. There are also people, when I stay around them, I am charged up, seriously charged up. So I have a coach. I pay $95 every month to be part of his program. When I'm with that guy, he charges me up. So what are the things? Give me examples. What are the things that people, things, or activities that once you plug into them, it charges up your battery? Okay, everybody, type in the comment section. And then after that, I'll now tell you what to do. So the exercise, the tools I've given you, the first one is, what's currently draining your energy? People, things, activities, tasks, whatever it is. The second one now is, what are the things that when you plug into them, they charge your batteries, they raise your energies? And then after that, I'll now tell you the third and then final thing that you're going to do with that exercise. Okay, so let me see. Very good. I'm getting some amazing answers here. So Banks Euro says, I always enjoy your coaching sessions, so educative. Oh, thank you. In the morning, housekeeping, fantastic. Sekinat said, oh, don't get involved in conversations that drain your energy. Very good. Morayo says, my morning workout. Okay, very good. Michael also says, workout charges your battery. Very good. Titi says, reading and listening to podcasts. Titi, same thing with me. Fantastic. Banks Euro says, music, vacations, garden walks. Fantastic. Chatting with a funny friend. Very, very amazing. Yes. Okay. O says, achieving goals on daily or weekly to do list in the morning charges me. Fantastic. John Otto says, my morning routines, reading and listening to audiobooks on wealth creation. Fantastic. Joseph Okechi says, reading. Sekina says, praying, meditation, marketing. Fantastic. Listening, reading and listening to good music. And then my wonderful coaches. Fantastic. Beke Nweke says, when my day trading turns positive. Okay, very good. And then Adeola says the idea of having a successful business charges you up. Fantastic. All right. So let me give you how to tie that in. So the third step and the final step that we're going to talk about tonight is you have found the things that drain you, and then you have found the things that charge up your battery. So the next part of the exercise and the final one is to ask yourself, how can I do less of the things that drain me in order to free more energy and time to do the things that charge me up? That's the final question. And that's a very logical thing to do. So run away from the energy drainers, minimize them, throw them away. Be very, very intentional, like I am. I tell you guys, I get so much done in a day, not because I have 30 hours, but because I've learned how to remove the energy drainers, from my day, and to put the things that charge me up all around me. So I build it into my room, I build it into the sitting room, everywhere. I build it into my relationships. I build it into my activities, things that charge me. Even when I get into my vehicle to drive to a place, I like driving. I have a very cool truck, and it feels really good inside. So I listen to these things. I could drive for hours because I'm listening to all these audio messages. I'm listening to these podcasts. I'm listening to these YouTube videos. Just incredible. So I'm doing one thing, but I'm being charged up by another. And then I have also immersed myself in coaching groups that literally every word that they say in this group, every word, because we have people of like mind, in the place, everything everybody says in that place is so helpful. It's like a charge to my battery. So the question is, how do you do more of the things that charge up your battery? That's how to make more money. That's how to succeed in your business. How do you free time to focus on the things? Remember, the rich people focus on things that create wealth for them. And the poor people focus on things that drain their pocket, drain their energy, and drain their pocket. So, in summary, the more you lose your energy, the more you lose focus, the more you become distracted, the less money you make, and the more you struggle financially. So that is like mathematicians, when they finish, they say QED. That's the QED of tonight. So the more you let yourself be drained of your energy by focusing on the things that also drain your energy, the more you struggle financially. The more you purify your energy and you focus on only those things that charge your batteries, you see, the more wealth ready you are. That's the more you're much more likely to make more money. I have seen a few comments here of people saying that they watched my video and then they started investing in stock market. And then I saw a comment here and somebody said he invested in Zenith and Zenith has done well. And then some of you who invested, I told you, there was a time I told you to put in your money in Presco. Why? Because I focus my energy on finding opportunities in the financial markets. And that was how I spotted Presco when Presco was going for like 400 naira. And I told the people, who listened at that time, buy Presco. And then they did not, and some did. And I bought Presco myself at 400 and something. At that, I identified the opportunity. And today, Presco has gone to 785. Like within a month after I told people, Presco climbed to 7 naira from 400. Meaning that if you had put in, let's say, 20 million at that time, within 1 month, you were going to have an additional 18 to 19 million within a month. And I could spot it because I focus my energy on spotting opportunities. I don't focus energy on entertainment. The poor actually focus on entertainment. You see, so the problem is that the poor want entertainment first, but the wealthy person want entertainment after. Yeah, they want to succeed, and then they become entertained. And to be honest, there's no entertainment that is more entertaining than success. I'm so entertained just getting involved in my purpose and succeeding and seeing results in the things that I do. And I want to use the opportunity to invite all of you who are not part of the Financial Fitness Challenge yet, because the Financial Fitness Challenge is my mentorship group. So lots of people send me messages asking for one-on-one. One-on-one with me is very expensive. You don't want to start with that first. I want you to make money first, and then you can do one-on-one with me, because a session starts from $300. Some of you here may have had one-on-one with me. It's actually very valuable. It helps you a lot, but many people are not on that level yet. So you can join the Financial Fitness Challenge and take advantage of my mentorship. Then when you make the money from that mentorship, then you can have one-on-one, with me. So now we have started making Financial Fitness Challenge monthly. Before we used to run it just like 4 or 5 days, but for lots of people, I think it fits them more to have monthly. So what we're going to be doing is, even the alumni, those who have attended before, we are going to be having monthly calls. And then each month we have a fresh batch of Financial Fitness Challenge. So we are currently enrolling, and there is a huge early bird discount that you can take advantage of. And so I want you to take down this WhatsApp number. I'm going to answer the WhatsApp by myself, but just chat. You can't make a call, just chat. So so to enroll in the Financial Fitness Challenge, to get the details for payment, it's 125,000 Nigerian naira. But right now there's an early bird of 105,000 Nigerian naira, and then the same thing equivalent in dollars. And so send to this WhatsApp number, just send payment details. Okay, so send me payment details, and then send it to this WhatsApp number I'm going to call out. I'll also put it in the description, and then say send me payment details, and then you will get that. And then I'll be looking forward to welcoming you. There's an exercise that we're doing there right now that I want you to join. Okay, so we call it Financial Fitness Passport. There's also an ebook on my seller website on that same thing, Financial Fitness Passport. But if you are going to join the Financial Fitness Challenge, you don't buy it, because you're going to get it for free. You're also going to get the book on stock market investing for free, so don't buy it. When you join the Financial Fitness Challenge, you're going to get that and a couple of other books for free. So the WhatsApp number is +234, that's for Nigeria, the Nigerian code, +234 88 000 111. That's very, very easy to memorize. I'm going to give it to you again. And please, no call. It doesn't receive call. It can only get WhatsApp chat. So +234 8088. I think I missed it the first time. I'm sorry. +234 8088 000111 plus 234 8088 000 111. And so whatever happens, keep showing up, and we'll be back here tomorrow on live. And then if you have enjoyed it, please tell your friends, tell your spouse, call your family, be part of it, because I can assure you, like one of my friends says, if you're not following me, you're losing money. I want to copy that. So join, and then I'll see you same time. Esther says, how long does the financial fitness challenge last? It goes on for a month, but then at the end of the month, there are 3 days that we have live Zoom session. But once you enroll today, you are going to be automatically added to the mentorship group. And in that mentorship group, there are exercises, there are worksheets, there are things going on that I put there every day. And then when at the end of the month, there are 3 days, okay? Like the one enrolling right now, we are going to have 28th, 29th, and 30th May that I'm going to meet live with all of you. And for those who miss it, there will be replays if you enroll and then you can't miss it because of time zone differences. We can always give you that. Okay, so plus 234 0001111. All right, so whatever happens, ladies and gentlemen, keep showing up, and I'll see you at exactly the same time tomorrow.